Hey guys, this is Spartacus here, and over on Twitter there is a user named TheGhostOfHope, and he has been credible in the past when it came to leaked information for Call of Duty. And even though he has recently tweeted out information regarding Modern Warfare 2, the game that's going to be coming out later this year, we still have to take what he says with a grain of salt. We don't know if all of the things he's saying within these tweets are actually going to be implemented in the full game at launch, so I just want you to keep that in mind because anything is subject to change from here on out. If you guys would like to follow the Ghost of Hope over on Twitter, I'll make sure to have a link to his profile in the description so you can quickly find it for yourself. But with that being said, let's go ahead and read some of the tweets he has regarding Modern Warfare 2. He starts off by saying, Movement King's gonna have some adjusting to do when Modern Warfare 2 comes out, and quotes tweet this by saying, completely new / different mechanic nobody has publicly talked about, including myself, and nobody will end up guessing it till they play the game themselves, I'm sure. And we actually had Modern Warzone respond to this tweet using his other Twitter account, and he says, was wondering when people would start catching wind of this. 99.9% sure you're referring to what I think you are. I actually hope it doesn't go public until they're ready to reveal it themselves for once. Based on the tweets I just read, it sounds like some people out there who have insider information have heard about this new movement mechanic, but clearly nobody's actually talking about it, probably because they would get in huge trouble if they bring it up, and it would kind of give away of who they are in real life, I suppose. And so I'm really curious to know what this new movement mechanic's going to be. Like, is it something they're going to change about like what we're already used to? Is it like some sort of additional feature? Based on what the Ghost of Hope says, it sounds like it's going to be something additional to what we've already seen. And if we actually continue reading some of the tweets he's posted, he also says slide canceling isn't going to be removed with Modern Warfare 2. Pretty much all of the MW19 mechanics are present with new ones added on. And so I know some people are not a fan of slide canceling. They get like really annoyed about it every time they die from someone who slide cancels in Warzone. Personally, I've never actually minded that much. I don't care if it's some sort of meta way to actually play Call of Duty now, because back when I played Call of Duty, people would drop shot all the time, and clearly don't see a lot of people do that anymore because it's a lot harder to do that because they made it harder to do in Call of Duty. And so, you know, people are always going to find different ways to like benefit the movement that a Call of Duty game has. And so right now slide canceling just seems like the meta way to actually play Call of Duty. So no matter what, people are always going to find something new in order to try and like take out their opponents. So I mean, I don't really care that slide canceling isn't going to be removed in this game. I mean, it's pretty easy to like kind of figure out for yourself. But he also says Modern Warfare 2 movement speed is faster than Modern Warfare, but not as fast as Vanguard. This, in my opinion, is a good thing. I'm glad to hear that it's faster than Modern Warfare 2019 because I just felt like it was just too slow when you moved around, like especially with all the attachments you would put on your weapon when going through the gunsmith. It seemed like a lot of the attachments would like decrease your ADS speed, it would decrease your move speed, and it just felt like you had bricks on your feet every time you were running, whereas in Vanguard, I actually really like the movement speed. It's a shame that it's not going to be as fast as Vanguard according to the Ghost of Hope, because I love the way that Vanguard's move speed actually works, but it's going to be like somewhere in the range between Modern Warfare 2019 and Vanguard, and I am personally okay with that. These next set of tweets from the Ghost of Hope aren't actually really leaked information on the DMZ game mode. It's more of just his perspective on the mode for Modern Warfare 2, and if you guys have not heard about this DMZ mode, it's supposed to be really similar to Escape from Tarkov, and it's supposed to be like some sort of extraction based mode. We've seen other things like this in other video games. I believe The Division had something similar to this as well, but I never really played that game. I'm only like familiar with Escape from Tarkov, even though I've never played the game for myself. But the Ghost of Hope says DMZ will have the same effect on the Escape from Tarkov genre that Warzone had on the BR genre. Bookmark this. Crazy to me how uncontested the genre of extraction based modes are. Escape from Tarkov is far from a perfect game every time I hear from friends on it, and the fact that it's like $40 is insane to me somewhat. Definitely needs some competition, and I think DMZ can be that. And then he quote tweets this by saying, have a feeling DMZ will have an impact on this genre and will kickstart the popularity of it. Feels like something that can catch on with general public, it's just waiting. So I have personally never played Escape from Tarkov before, and I don't think I've ever played another video game that has a similar genre as Escape from Tarkov. of. I believe The Division is another game that has a similar type of genre to it, but nonetheless, I don't really have any experience with this type of genre whatsoever. But based on what the Ghost of Hope says, since he does have more information about DMZ that he can't share with us, he believes that it will shine a light on this type of extraction genre. And so I'm curious to see what this will actually turn out. One thing I know from Escape from Tarkov is that it's actually hyper realistic, and so like your weapon could get jammed up, where like that doesn't never happens in Call of Duty. So I don't know if we'll see something like that within this DMZ game mode, like your guns will get jammed, for example. I have no idea what to expect from the DMZ game mode, but seeing how the Ghost of Hope has, I guess, an opinion that it will actually shine some light on this mode, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it turns out. But it is kind of interesting to know that Escape from Tarkov is $40, where Call of Duty is a $60 game, and of course this game mode is being added to it, including multiplayer and of course the campaign. So I'm not sure how detailed they're going to go into this DMZ mode, considering we already have multiplayer and campaign added to this one game in particular, but hopefully there's enough things to do to actually keep players occupied and gives you a lot of replayability value. And speaking of replayability value, there is one feature that sounds like it's going to be added to the DMZ mode that the Ghost of Hope also mentioned in these last tweets that I'm going to read here. He says, Modern Warfare 2's third mode DMZ will include dynamic weather and day/night cycles, comparable to that of Red Dead Redemption 2. Gotta love hearing more on the DMZ than core multiplayer. Too bad the stuff I hear on DMZ, the majority I can't post yet. I'm noticing a pattern of Modern Warfare 2 features like dynamic weather, day/night cycles, theater mode/photo mode, and firing range that clearly are indicated as applying to Warzone 2 as well, even with the lack of confirmation for it. And then he quote tweets this by saying, for example, dynamic weather and day/night cycles being a part of DMZ probably means Warzone 2 too. Theater mode/photo mode is an added bonus to Warzone 2 and is easy enough to apply. Same goes for firing range. Now, starting off with dynamic weather here, I personally never played Red Dead Redemption 2, so I don't really know how it works in that game, but I understand what he's talking about when it comes to dynamic weather. This is something that I've seen other content creators have mentioned over the last, I don't know, 10 years that I've been playing Call of Duty, where they thought it would be really cool how in multiplayer that every time you loaded into a match, you would have different weather. It could be daytime, it could be nighttime, it could be raining, it could be snowing during the day, it could be snowing during the night. You get the idea, right? You know, it doesn't actually change the physical map itself, it just changes the weather, you know? Everything stays the same except for the weather, and I think that would be an amazing addition to have in Call of Duty, and it sounds like we're going to have that within this DMZ mode, which for me personally will definitely give me a lot of replayability value. And maybe, you know, depending on how like dark the map actually gets based on the time of day, maybe people play differently. I think that would be really interesting if that was the case. But of course, on all those other tweets I mentioned, it sounds like we might be getting that added to Warzone 2 as well. But he also mentioned a couple of other features that are coming to the game, such as theater mode and firing range. So starting with theater mode here, I love theater mode. I know a lot of people never talk about this and probably never really use it in Call of Duty, but as a content creator and just for gameplay purposes, I love using theater mode. It looks like that Treyarch, and pretty much ever since Call of Duty Black Ops, Treyarch has had theater mode in every single Call of Duty game that they've put out there, and I give them huge props for that. However, I'll say this, theater mode has gone a lot worse over the years every time Treyarch comes out with a new title. For example, Black Ops Cold War. I felt like theater mode was dog shit in that game. It just did not work properly at all whatsoever. I had a really hard time messing with the settings. Sometimes like there weren't even settings there that we saw within previous titles, and it just didn't run smoothly at all whatsoever. And it just seems like every time we would get theater mode put back into a future title for Call of Duty, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I really hope that theater mode that we see within Warzone 2 and of course within this game mode, it actually functions properly, because that is a huge gripe of mine that I just been having a lot recently within the past few Treyarch titles, is that theater mode's been getting worse, and I would like it to actually work properly. The other feature that the Ghost of Hope mentioned is firing range. He actually confirmed this was going to be in Modern Warfare 2 a while ago. I just never really covered it here on the channel, but he did bring it up again here. And the thing about the firing range feature is that we haven't seen it since Call of Duty World War II, and we've seen it in multiple titles, and I never understood why this is not a staple within this series, because what it is that when you are in the main menu and you like are hovering over your created class or your loadout and you want to try out a new weapon, but before you can use it in game, you can go into the firing range and try it out for yourself. And that's a great way to understand how the gun actually performs. You have a good idea what the fire rate is going to be before you use it on someone, or especially the recoil pattern, so that way you know how you have to actually handle it when using it in a real match against actual real opponents. And so I think the firing range is an amazing feature. I can't believe they are finally bringing it back. I thought this was going to be a feature that was going to be long gone and that we're just never going to see it return, but it's great to see that how we're going to be able to use it here within Modern Warfare 2. And that right there is all the information that the Ghost of Hope has given us regarding leaked information on Modern Warfare 2. There has been no official information of what we're going to be getting within Modern Warfare 2, which is really unfortunate. All we really have is the title of the game and the logo when it comes to official information, but this leaked information is interesting. Like I said at the beginning of this video, take everything he said and what I said in this video with a grain of salt, and so we don't know if anything is going to change from here on out based on what we know, and so I'm curious what is going to happen with Modern Warfare 2. I really hope this game blows up and just actually pays off for the Call of Duty franchise, because we need a good Call of Duty title. Like we've been in this rut for too long, and Vanguard just really made things a lot worse, and so I really hope Modern Warfare 2 does change things up a bit and we actually have some excitement to enjoy within the Call of Duty series. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more Call of Duty videos, especially information regarding Modern Warfare 2, and I shall catch you guys later.